Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. Today's video is going to be a very quick one, and this is just on the infrared thermometer that I picked up off eBay. Now this only cost me around about $9, but depending on whether you're happy to wait on the slow boat from China or whether you'd prefer to buy it locally, if you're going to buy it locally, $15 give or take on eBay. There will be a link down below in the description. But look, this is super handy. This is something that I've found that I use fairly regularly now, and for lots of different things. You will find when you originally get it, you're going to be running around and you're going to be testing everything, fires. I've used it to test the heater, the temperature of the water before I jump in the bath, and all those sorts of things. So it's quite an interesting little tool to be able to use and just test the temperatures on various different things. Now this is powered by two AAA batteries, which just slip into the bottom there just like that. You'll see on the back here there's three different buttons. This one here just changes from Celsius to Fahrenheit, so if you've triggered it and the light goes off, you can just tap that and that will turn the backlight on and off, and this little button here is going to turn on and off the little laser pointer. As you can see, there is a little laser pointer that comes off the end there. Now this will do from -50 up to 380 degrees Celsius, so that's quite a range. Handy for if you need to test a freezer or a fridge or something like that. The reason I picked this up was to test the temperature of my bearings rather than putting the hand on it. There was an issue that I had there originally where one side was just heating up ridiculously, and I found actually putting the hand on to the hub to check the temperature of the bearing, it was just too hot to make physical contact with. And that was the primary reason for the purchase, was to be able to jump out of the car, race around and just test the temperature on each of the hubs, so I knew I had an accurate reading, and I could tell the temperature differential between the two hubs if there was any. So when I'm travelling, what I like to do is do a few miles and then basically find a little rest stop or something like that, pull the caravan over, just jump out, whip around the caravan, do a quick check of the hubs, make sure that they're not overheating and see if there's any issues there. Just check the awning, make sure that I've got all the Velcro on, make sure that everything's locked up and nothing's going to come off. Have a quick look under the van as well. When I was away the other day out at Dubbo and I was heading back, I was going to do about 450 k's over the course of the day to get home. So it's nice just to go over the vehicle and the caravan and just have a look and make sure everything's where it should be before you continue on and pushing through those 400 odd k's that you're doing on the way home. You can get up to about a metre away with these, and that area that is going to be taking the temperature of is going to spread out, so it's kind of like a cone. The closer you are, the narrower the area that it's going to read the temperature of, and the further away you get, the more that's going to spread out, and the more average the temperature you're going to get of whatever it is you're trying to read. This is just something that I found really handy to keep in the car, in particular for use with a caravan, but I've found it handy to be testing temperatures on a whole bunch of different stuff. A few little things coming up. One of the things that I've just swapped over in the van is I've gone from the little Chinese cheapy PWM solar controller, so I've pulled that out and we've switched that over to an EP Tracer 40 amp MPPT charge controller. So I've just wired that up last night. I'll get around to putting a video up on that once I've had a chance to test that out and see how that's going. I also grabbed the MT50 remote control, which is very handy. That's just going to allow me to mount that up somewhere in the van so I can actually reach it. The MPPT controller itself is actually under the seat, so I can't get to that. So this gives me a little remote control screen that I can actually check, and gives me some additional functionality as well as far as being able to change some settings. This is going to go along with the install of the two solar panels that I've got that are going to go on the roof. Currently I'm just testing this with the same sort of panels that I've got on the roof of the Pajero, which is just a 120 watt panel, and I think the open circuit voltage is somewhere around about the 18 to 20 volts or something like that. So not ideal for an MPPT. Once it's connected up the controller, I think it's only putting in about 14 volts thereabouts. It can get up to around about the 16 or so, and it's full overcast day to day. Currently, with the voltage sort of being down around the charge voltage of what the battery actually requires, I'm not seeing a great differential between the input current and voltage to the converted input current that's going into the battery, but that's to be expected. It's overcast. Literally there's no sun, but I have noticed that I am putting in about an amp into the battery. Now both of these again I picked up off eBay. I think I paid around about the $210 mark. Again, as per usual, link will be down below for where I grabbed these from. Really nice looking unit, absolutely massive compared to the small little PWM controller that I had in there before. This will get pressed into service probably in the shed, something like that, but we're going to end up having around about 500 watts on top of the caravan. Of course I've got a pop top. I need to be a little bit particular about how I'm going to mount those panels on the roof, but I've got a few ideas, so stick around if you're interested in that. We'll get around to that eventually as well. Another thing that I've actually just recently picked up is a little 350 watt inverter, a pure sine inverter, little DENMONKEY brand, which is basically the American version of the Waker. Obviously do a little bit of film work and whatever for the YouTube channel and just for personal use because I enjoy it. So I had a reason to go out and pick up an inverter. I've been fighting this for a long time because I like to just have 12 volt stuff for the caravan. But the OB2 chainsaw that I've got, the power exchange chainsaw, again there'll be a link up the top to the video review of that. When I pick that up, I can't charge it for 12 volt, so I need to be able to charge the 18 volt battery on the go from in the back of the car. Currently doing some testing on it just to test what the current draw is off the battery and whether it's going to handle the 18 volt battery charge duties that I need it to do. And additionally, I also picked myself up a little DJI Spark drone. So you'll be seeing some aerial footage in some upcoming videos, hopefully, and that'll allow me to, I guess, tell the story a little bit better and get different perspectives. This is going to come in handy for you know, getting some footage of the panels on the roof rather than me having to climb up there. Not sure whether this is something you guys are interested in. If you're interested in a review of the drone, there are heaps of different reviews of the Spark and all the DJI products online. I guess my subscriber group are probably a little bit different to the people that may necessarily be going to looking at the reviews of these and looking at the other channels. So this is something that's going to go with me when I travel. So when I'm, you know, out and about and I want to get a few happy snaps, if you will, this will go up in the air and get me some additional footage. You can see how small this is. I've currently got a couple of batteries which need to be charged via 240, so again, that's the reason I picked up that little DENMONKEY inverter. I'm also in the process of doing some testing just to see how that handles charging up all the batteries and the remote controller and all that sort of stuff. So if you're interested in a review, I'll probably pop something up a little bit later. So that's it. So lots more stuff coming up. I had a comment recently from somebody about the OB2 controller that I have that I use for the car that connects up to my phone for the Talk app that I use for clearing the codes when I did the intake cleaner video. So I'm going to do a quick review of that. There's a few little things that are worth noting, specifically if you've got a Pajero, and something that I just want to cover off there and just show you how to use it. Again, you know, they're like $15, so it's certainly something that's worth having in the car for clearing codes, or certainly being able to understand what the codes are and being able to check your trans temps and all that sort of stuff. So that's it, guys. Thanks very much for stopping by on this one. Just a fairly short video of the infrared thermometer and just a quick update where we're up to and what's coming up shortly. Catch you on the next one.